Thank you.
Yes, it's coming.
Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmaster club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. I'm Karine, your sergeant at arms at the meeting. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is a premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focusing primarily on leadership development in everything you do. Our timer has a virtual hand raised so we all can immediately see who is keeping the time. And this is my pleasure to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, Paramjit Singh, who will lead the meeting today. Paramjit is Design and Development Manager, NLP Trainer, Growth Mindset Coach. He joined Toastmaster 3 years ago and is president of 2 clubs in Dubai. In addition to that, he is currently Sergeant at Arms for Leadership. Please welcome warmly Paramjit.
Thank you very much, Karen, for introducing me to the club. Thank you very much, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. This is Paramjit Singh joining from Dubai, your Toastmaster of the day for today. You know, our club is 5th in the last year. It was in the 5th position all over the world. And this year we aspire to be the #1 club. Do you think it has happened just by chance or by luck? No, it is because of the critical thinking of our leadership. And that critical thinking is evident from the fact that we are still at #1 today all over the world. And this leadership, everyone in Leadership Speak is working with the critical thinking. If we talk about critical thinking, there are 2 examples of 2 great people. One is Jeff Bezos, Amazon, as well as the Elon Musk. People think they are having a rivalry between the business, but they think above the average person. And over the years, if you see, both of them have worked together to improve on their products on the regular basis. They're doing their best to improve upon their products, and that is why they have one of the single skill which is very important for them, and that is that they think critically. You might have heard the term critical thinking, but what does that mean? Critical thinking is a process of careful and deep thinking about a subject or idea. It includes being able to analyze, weigh facts, to carefully reason, and to make insightful connections. But there's another option, what's called critical thinking. That means certainly it is important, but how sometimes it takes to the critics, like something is wrong. And this is consistent with both Musk as well as Bezos. And Musk said one time that I always looking for what is wrong. And to make Tesla better, I have to think very critically. So when I see the car, I see all the things that I need to fix it to make it better. And Bezos also explained in one of his interview that the smartest people are constantly revising their understanding, reconsidering a problem they thought they have already solved. They are open to new points of the view, new information, new ideas, contradictions, and challenges to their own way of thinking. So the critical thinking that is best, and the ability to learn from ideas and thoughts, even if they are in opposition to your own. Now, how can we have improve upon our critical thinking? I will share small snippets of 5 points, which will just give you a small idea, but it may not be very elaborated one, but you can go deep into it. So the first one, if you see, is don't rush. Don't rush for the things. Don't rush for the decisions. Just don't do the thing that they have to be finished today. Give them time. Give them time to analyze, think critically. That is very important if you want to improve upon your critical thinking skills. And the second one is pay attention to negative feedback. Negative feedback is very, very difficult to adapt. But if you take some time, take next day maybe for paying attention to the negative, so you'll find in that criticism what is good for me. And one of the biggest example is my immediate boss. He never replies back for my designs, and it takes 2-3 days and then come back and give me negative feedback. But when I see, certainly if we would have not chosen that particular word or particular design, we would have failed miserably. So always people are giving you negative feedback, think of it, because that may be for analysis. Third one is schedule time to think. See, we need to time. It's a focus time. When you are working on a project or something very big, you certainly need a time which should be scheduled to have a focused attention. That time is when you are totally critical thinking, observing everything, going deep into the problem, and trying to find a solution for this. And fast forward. Most of the time, we take decision based on the short-sightedness. We should go fast forward. We think ahead. What is the decision we are going to take today? What is going to happen after 1 week of this decision? Maybe after 1 year, 1 month, or after 5 years. So just don't take those decisions based on today on. There can be different reasons for that. So just don't take the decision because of taking consideration today. You have to think what can be the timeline which will be affecting it. And the third, last is less things simmer. Let them wait. Don't take decisions. Let them just take away your mind out of it for some time, because that will give you some time to think it more critically beyond your emotional level, and you will come with the best results. So to have a critical thinking, if you start observing one of them and maybe two of them, you will see you have improved your critical thinking. So coming back to now our meeting, I'll share more whenever if the time permits. So let us move further with our. So the thing what I learned, there are a lot of things to learn in leadership speak. What I learned was how to give a toast, how to present a toast, how to raise a toast. I was not knowing how to do that. I had never done in my life. And this is one thing which I learned from leadership speak. And I really always appreciate that this is something very great. So today, to raise the toast, we have one of our new member, Toastmaster Elena, who is an educator, a business coach, and a financial consultant. And she aspires to motivate this youth to tackle complex decision making with confidence, a diverse perspective, and evidence gathering. So I request Toastmaster Elena to raise the toast. Over to you, Toastmaster Elena.
Good morning, good afternoon. I can't see myself, but you can see me properly. I can be heard and everything? Yes. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. Allow me to remain seated due to the lack of a better camera. I am afraid. I am afraid that the news are not so good. The impact of technology and artificial intelligence on the human critical thinking abilities is causing more harm than benefit for a large number of people, and especially the youth. You can't figure out how to assemble your IKEA desk? Let's Google it. Where is our problem solving? It is reduced. You can't recall how to get to your friend's house for the 5th time? You just turn on the GPS. Our ability to retain information is being reduced too. Stephanie, do you want to decorate a cake? Let's open Pinterest. Where is our innovation? It's being reduced. And when you're waiting in line for the supermarket, checking your email, our creativity from downtime is being reduced. This proliferation of social media use is reducing our ability to identify credible information sources and evaluate the reliability of news. We are being limited to social media echo chambers. Echo chambers. Have you noticed how after you Google something, the social media algorithms start limiting your exposure to more diverse perspectives? Echo chambers lead us to live our lives in the echo of our past. We are being forced to echo a present of short attention spans, right? These algorithms, or the so-called filter bubbles, they are the ideological frames which lead us to a state of, unfortunately, intellectual isolation. And I see this daily amongst high school students, university students, and young professionals, sometimes even with myself. Now, in cognitive science, this is called the confirmation bias. We've known about this for long, is our tendency, and it's a natural tendency to search, interpret, favor, recall information in a way that confirms or supports our prior beliefs or our values. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think there is something wrong with echo chambers. And I think critical thinking is one of the best ways to avoid these echo chambers. When properly applied, it is our lifeboard. So leaders of our destiny, let's go out and implement the great advice we're going to listen to today. We already heard Paramjit give us a wonderful, some wonderful recommendations. Let's train ourselves and the youth about being more present and more mindful. Present and mindful. Staying with the problem solving for longer. Engaging our long-term memory. Slowing down. Feeling this creative boredom, right? Let's listen carefully to all the speeches today and create more opportunities for developing critical thinking. I will invite everybody to raise our glasses, to raise a toast. Please unmute and repeat after me. I'll say it once and then we can repeat. To escaping echo chambers through critical thinking.
To escaping echo chambers
through critical thinking.
To critical thinking. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Elena, for a great toast. Thank you very much. Now I will request our timer, Toastmaster Edith, to explain about her role. She is a digital wellness consultant, speaker, and a trainer, and she helps children to use technology safely. Timer, Toastmaster Edith.
Good day, everyone. My name is Edith, and I am your timer for today. I shall be timing you according to the time that is on the agenda, and I will be displaying the times that have been recorded in the chat. For purposes of timing, I will be raising the times showing through the green background, the yellow, and the red. And my my virtual hand shall remain lifted so that you can identify me easily. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Edit. So to keep a control or understanding of grammar, we have somebody today who is an author, a blogger, an actor, singer, songwriter, creativity coach, as well as she's from Canada. And Paula deeply respects the power of words. So she is the perfect grammarian for today. Over to you, Toastmaster Paula.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And for today's meeting, one of the outstanding skills that we use in critical thinking is inference. So that is the word of the day, which means something that is inferred. So a conclusion or an opinion that is formed because of known facts or evidence. An example of this is science is usually based on inference, not on varnished observation. Or another one, its existence is only known by inference. So each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give a grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting, and also report the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paula. Thank you very much. Let's move on to our main section. That is our speaker, our prepared speeches. And in Toast Leaders to Speak, we certainly start with our leadership education session. Today, we are going to have our leadership education session by a Toastmaster Azimuddin, Muhammad Azimuddin. Before he starts his presentation, I will ask his evaluator, Toastmaster Vinod Panikkar, to share with us the project objectives.
Hello, everyone, Toastmaster of the day, and to the speaker. Our speaker, Muhammad Azimuddin, is presenting the project called as Manage Project Successfully from his Path Visionary Communication. He will be presenting a plan for a project that a speaker and a team of 3 to 4 people will complete. So he's going to present the ultimate about critical thinking, that is about debate. Thank you and best wishes to you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, DTM Vinod. Toastmaster Muhammad Azimuddin is a mechanical engineer by profession, Toastmaster since 2006, and have done a lot of roles of like area governor and club mentor. He's going to talk about debate today. Debate also helps, whether it's an internal debate or it's a debate in the session. It also improves our critical thinking. Let us listen to him, how debate can improve upon our critical thinking. Over to you, Toastmaster Muhammad Azimuddin. Debate, Toastmaster Muhammad Azimuddin. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. So, can you see my slide? Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I am inviting you in this session where I am going to speak about debate. Earlier, this plan was to demonstrate the debate itself, but now I am talking on debate only. So this will give a very good insight of the debate to every one of us. So today I'm a little bit lucky, fortunate enough, because the theme is critical thinking, and Toastmaster of the day has well explained the theme. So I'm going to exploit some of the ideas that the Toastmaster has given. And one of the ideas is that critical thinking is a leadership skills. And I'm not going to debate on that. It's really true. that critical skill is a leadership skill. Critical thinking is a leadership skill, and that every leader needs it. So starting from there, I can just say in this way that everyone has to do a debate in order to decide what is wrong and what is right. And then he can move forward in his life. Even a common man, not only the leaders, the common man can do this debate and has to do debate. That is why in our life, the importance of debate is multiplying every day. So let me take you into the scenario where we can understand what the debate is. So I am receiving one important message. Oh my God, this is the message from John F. Kennedy, the US president. And he tweeted right now, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Oh my God. Do you believe that? That John F. Kennedy has tweeted this? The quotation is from John F. Kennedy, but he has tweeted it. Then it goes into a debate. Then you apply your logic that John F. Kennedy cannot tweet because when his time was there, Twitter was not there. So you proposed or you presented your factual reasoning of the means to challenge my validity of this statement. So it is going on and on everywhere where you apply your logic, and that comes from your critical thinking ability. Okay. So I can take you in another example. Like I can give you one statement that you never heard before. And that is that the life of a leadership lies between two statements. It means your life as a leader lies between two statements. So you might be thinking that what is this meaning? Yes, it is true. A leader is born when he gives first statement. He gives his vision, his ideology, and the people start buying this ideology, this vision, and becoming more and more closer to the leader. So the leader is born. And the leader dies, the leadership dies when he gives the second statement, exactly opposite to his ideology. The moment he gives this ideology against the first statement, he dies. Physically, he might be alive, but his leadership finished. So keeping it in mind that leadership actually comes in a position where he is given some lucrative ideas to change his ideology he has given in the first statement. Then he starts thinking that there is a lot of personal gain. So he can go for that personal gain and can give a statement which is exactly opposite to his first statement, and it is going to destroy his ideology and destroy his people. So he finished as a leader. So this situation comes in every leader's life, that you have presented an ideology, you had a lot of followers, and suddenly you are given a lucrative offer that change your ideology, change your vision. You will get personal gain. And at that time, the leader goes into a situation where a fight is going on in his mind, a debate is going on in his mind. That debate is about to decide to be or not to be, to decide that what action he should adopt whether he will go for his personal gain or for the benefit of his people. And that's really a critical time. So the importance of debate is there. So let me go into few terminologies of that debate. So we can define the debate is an organized verbal argument, clash of arguments to achieve meaningful outcome, problem solving and critical thinking skills that we can learn from debate, and excellent leadership skills, and that we can discuss the pros and cons of any position or law that we adopt. Have you ever seen in videos what happens in the British Parliament when they do the debate? The Prime Minister stands up and proposes a position or a law to adopt. And then the opposition leader, he starts giving the opposite statements and starts challenging his position or law. And finally, there is a position where they become able to decide what are the benefits and what are the demerits of that law, and then they adopt it because it is going to affect the future. Today's Elena, she presented the toast and she said that the artificial intelligence is now greatly reducing our creativity. This is debatable because it is going to affect our future, whether we will adopt the artificial intelligence and completely kill our creativity, or we will do something in between and adopt the right course of action for our future generation. So that is a debatable issue. Now, let us see the role players. Who are the role players in a debate? So the debate is held between two teams. One is the affirmative team and the other one is the opposition team. Affirmative team speaks on behalf of the motion, and the motion is simply the topic of the debate, and opposition team speaks against the topic. Each team has a set of speakers. The first speaker of each team is called the leader. So we have the affirmative team leader and negative team, opposition team leader. And based on the subject, if subject is very vast, then we can have multiple speakers in each team. So I have presented it here, the affirmative speaker 1, affirmative speaker 2, affirmative speaker 3, they are all supporting the affirmative team leader. And the affirmative team leader, based on the greatness and volume of the subject or the topic or the motion, he divides into segments and distribute to all these speakers to speak. And so does the opposition team leader. And after the speech, there is a 5 minutes break for the preparation of the summary speech. And then again, the debate moderator invites the affirmative team leader to speak, and then opposite team leader to rebut and for the rebuttal and prove the motion. So the burden of proof lies on the shoulder of the opposition team leader. Once he succeeds, the motion is downplayed. Otherwise, it is accepted and adopted for the entire period of life of the nation. So then comes the affirmative evaluator and opposite evaluator. The role of this evaluator is very crucial here. And then chief judge comes and announces the result. So I will go into some more details like speaking order. The debate moderator initiated the debate. He gave the details and some introduction of the team, and then give the motion to debate and invite first the affirmative team leader. So now here I want to show what is the sequence of his speaking. So starting from the debate moderator, first the affirmative team leader, then opposition team leader, then it goes to the affirmative speaker 1, then it comes to opposition speaker 1, and in this way completes all the speakers. And then affirmative team leader, opposition team leader, and then affirmative evaluator, opposition evaluator, and then chief judge. This is the speaking order. So now going to further, the responsibilities. What are the responsibilities of these role players in debate? So the debate moderator actually coordinates the debate and controls, facilitate each speakers to debate, explains the debate rules, and announces the motion and invites the debaters one by one. So first he invites the affirmative team leader. And the role of affirmative team leader is here is to define the terminology of the motion. These days, the subject is very vast, and we don't know where we will start and where we will end in the debate. And if we are lost in the magnanimity of the subject, we cannot come to a conclusion. That is why it is very important that the debate, the affirmative team leader must put a boundary around the debate so that we can debate within that boundary. And that is called define the terminology of the motion. And that is a motion is that smoking in public spaces should be banned. Now see the underlined words. The affirmative team leader has to explain what is meaning of smoking. There are a lot of different types of smoking, but we are considering only that smoking that comes in a roll or something like this. Or public spaces, where is the public places? He has to define it. And then what is the meaning of ban? What should be the impact of that banning? And if somebody is not following that rule, then what will be? So this way, he will explain it in 1 minute, and then remaining 4 minutes, he will have to establish the motion for the debate. So what is the meaning of establishing a motion for the debate? Is that he deliver a constructive speech. In this constructive speech, he will provide all the logical arguments, evidence, proof. For that, he is supporting this motion. And then he conclude with his verdict that I strongly support the motion that smoking in public places should be banned. And he will spell the motion as it is given to him. He should not that in the public places smoking should be banned. He has changed the arrangement of the words. It means he has changed the motion. So this should be taken care. And then after his speech, there will be cross-examination. This is very important. What is the purpose of the cross-examination? Is to get clarification from the speaker, what he has spoken. If the other role players are not understanding it, he can ask some clarification. And he can challenge the opponent's argument that this argument is not true based on some fact. And then he will gather, during this cross-examination, he will gather some information for rebuttal and for his own speech. Then he has to ask only the question, no details or description, only just question. The question should be very closely related to the speech he has delivered. And the questioner should give some ample time to the responder to respond. And this whole scenario will be completed within 2 minutes. So 2 minutes will be given to him. And then the rebuttal. For the rebuttal, it is important that you need to listen to the opponent's point, identify the weaknesses, counter arguments, respond with clear, concise, and counterpoints, focus on the substance and not on the personal attack. Okay. So now the opposition team leader, what is the role of responsibilities of opposition team leader? He has to ask the cross-examination on the affirmative team leader, gather information, and then rebut. I have already explained it to you. And then the affirmative speaker will do the same. He will have a cross-examination session on the opposite team leader, and then he will go on for rebuttal and his constructive speech. And at the end, if he is the affirmative team leader, he will say, I support the motion. And opposition speaker will say, I reject the motion. So now, after the completion of first part of the debate, there will be 5 minutes break. In that, both the team leaders will prepare their summary speech, and they will be given another 3 minutes or 5 minutes to both of them to do their summary speeches. And the debate moderator will invite the affirmative team leader first, and he will provide his point of view on the motion, and then he will the debate moderator will invite the opposition team leader, where the opposition team leader will give his own constructive speech in order to reject the motion. And then the affirmative evaluator, the role of evaluator is to have a look on all the activities and the speeches delivered by the affirmative team. And the evaluator has to see that all the affirmative team leader spoke well, the quality and logic of the arguments and evidence was really perfect, and the manner that we have chosen to deliver the debate and the language and the tone of the speakers, the quality of cross-examination and respond to the cross-examination, that all these are the things that the evaluator has to check. And so does the opposition evaluator. And then we invite the chief judge. The role of a chief judge is to come in the scene and then have a few words on the debate, how it went, and then how he liked it, and what is the importance of the debates and the arguments that he has provided. And then he will invite nowadays we are using the Zoom, so he can invite a screen for a voting screen for the audience. And all the audience are the judges here. So all the audience will vote, and there will be the motion on the top, and below it, there will be 2 radio buttons, accept or reject, means support or reject. So the audience will vote for it, and then the chief judge will collect the voting result and announce the result. Chief judge also announce the best speaker, the best team of the debate, and then the debate ends. So in this way, we do the debate in that. So while we understand the debate, it is really very important for us that we understand the critical thinking that we need to develop. So every debate needs some critical thinking, some logical arguments, some in the background, your own experience and knowledge to debate. So why I am presenting it? It is because I understand from the speech of this Toastmaster of the day that critical thinking is really very important skill for us, for a leader. So to be a self-directed leader is really necessary to understand some aspects of debate. Because every moment, every time in the life of every person in this world, we face a challenging situation where we debate within ourselves to decide what is right and what is wrong. So this is on you. You decide whether we can adopt this debate in this club or not. Over to Master of Ceremony.
Thank you very much, DTM Muhammad Azimuddin. Thank you for giving us elaborated information about how to debate, and all the debater, all the team has to have a critical thinking. So we move on further to our first speaker. Our first speaker for today is Hannah Schmidt. And before I call her up to present her speech, I like to request her evaluator, Toastmaster Marcella, to give us the project objectives. Toastmaster Marcella.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Today, Toastmaster Hannah Schmidt will present a 5 to 7 minute speech from the path Visionary Communication. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose, and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The inferred title of her speech is Half Full, Half Empty. Let us all welcome Toastmaster Hannah Schmidt to the lecture.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Marcella. Toastmaster Hannah said that particularly this speech, she is writing it as a purpose with a purpose, and her vision is to see my glass as half full. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Hannah with her presentation, Half Full, Half Empty, Half Full, Half Empty. Toastmaster Hannah, the stage is yours.
Elena has raised a very appropriate toast onto our theme, critical thinking for leaders. Thank you very much. Now, after this toast, is your glass half full or half empty? Mr. Toastmaster, optimists or visionaries will focus on the positive view and view the glass half full. Pessimists will tell you it is half empty. And the engineer, he says the glass is twice the size as it needs to be. Who is motivated to see the positiveness in the half full glass? And how do I fit in here? Half full, half empty. When I started my Toastmasters journey, was for me to change from being an ordinary member to becoming a visionary leader, to fill my glass. Joining Toastmasters way back, I had joined them actually to improve my communication skills. I considered myself an introvert. I concentrated on what they call a competent communicator, not paying much attention to the competent leadership book, which guides me to listening skills, planning and implementation, and most of all, team building. Having a vision and reaching out to visitors, guests, and onboarding them. Some of the roles necessary to become an exemplary leader and motivated communicator, and of course, a leader. After delivering a few speeches and watching the members role play, I soon realized my glass is still half empty. And that my journey within Toastmasters would stagnate should I not make an effort to readjust and motivate myself and fill my glass. I transformed these thoughts into opportunities, became resilient, and bounced back. And this resilience has helped my home club achieve their President's Distinguished status for the past consecutive 12 years. Thanks to the motivation, the innovative planning, collaboration, and dynamic leadership of the Executive Committee. At times, we miss out on a journey within Toastmasters and we become too content, too complacent with our glass half full. But just being a Toastmaster does not fill your glass. We need to have the incentive, the courage to step out and fill it. Yet, with some incentive, some drive, and being consistent in my vision, I have achieved my Distinguished Toastmaster, my DTM, although at times it felt as though my glass would stay half full forever. At least it was just for a while. Sometimes the glass needs to be half full, or even twice the size, in order to have it filled with members rejoining the club. Here comes membership retention is another important role for the VPM to fill that glass, to connect with the members who have left the club on a one-on-one basis is of vital, utmost importance. Find their why. Why have they left the club? Do they see their glass as half empty? Few have rejoined the club, filling the glass, and they are now reaching for the top and watching their glasses being filled with a vision. Membership in my home club here in Namibia goes with the help of a WhatsApp group that we call Tarantal visitors, guests. And the purpose of this WhatsApp group is for the VPM to kindle that interest and inspire the guests to join the next club meeting and unleash their desire to join the club. This has been extremely successful, and members have been keen and inspired to join the club. It is vital to connect with the members that have left the club and let them commence their journey together, and together we conquer the road ahead. As a Toastmaster, though, we should not focus on the glass, but rather contents, and fully appreciate what it has to offer. Do not look at what you do not have, but rather appreciate that what you have. Make the most of it. Or have another version, whether your glass is half full, half empty, or just twice the size it should be. Count your blessings. Make the most of it. You still have something to drink. Some thoughts for critical thinking. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Hannah. My glass is half filled, maybe half full, I don't know, because you can't see from this side. It's not transparent. Thank you very much for that. So now I would like to call upon our next speaker, Toastmaster Leya. Or I would request her evaluator, Toastmaster Ray, to present the evaluation sheet and objectives for the Toastmaster Leya. Over to you, Toastmaster Ray.
Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Paramjit. Today, Leya Musunga will be presenting a 5 to 7 minute speech on effective coaching, level 3 project using descriptive language. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech with an emphasis on adding language to increase interest and impact. She'll be looking for ways that her speech reflects on using and delivering descriptive words and elements to bring in the audience. Did it engage us? Did it interest us? Did it leave us so captivating that we're at the edge of our seats? And is this a story that you wouldn't mind following from beginning to end and wishing for more? Let's find out. Let's welcome Leya Musunga with her speech, Freedom. Over to you, Toastmaster Paramjit.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ray. Leya want to work on adding more description to her speeches. And this is the story of how she got her freedom. So I will request for Toastmaster Leya to present her speech. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Leya with her presentation. Freedom, freedom, Toastmaster Leya. The stage is yours.
The sunlight had already receded over the horizon. Besides the overhead light above me, it was pitch black everywhere. As I checked my phone for the upteenth time to see what time it was, and discovered it had only been 2 minutes from the last time I had done that, I was frustrated. I could feel the goosebumps slowly rising up on me. My brother was late again, picking me up from school. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. How do you react when you are frustrated? When you face a situation that you feel needs to change? For me, that day was the day that I would say broke the camel's back. As we lived far away from the school I was going to, my brother used to come and pick me up, the school being varsity. Even though I was at an age that I would be able to drive, I hadn't yet gotten my driver's license. So that day when I got home, I went straight up to my dad and said, enough is enough. I need to get my own driver's license so that I would be able to move myself from point A to point B. My dad, bless his heart, was always supportive of me. The next day, he was able to locate a driving school that would be able to help me to be able to learn how to drive. He even volunteered to assist me over the weekend to drive around the neighborhood so I could gain my confidence. I recall my first day at driving school. I was excited until I sat behind the car wheel. I was scared. As we went into the traffic, I could barely move my head. I just wanted to focus with what was in front of me. And my instructor would say, move left, turn your head. You need to see what is happening around you. And I have thought to myself, sir, I cannot multitask. Slowly, as time went on, I was able to gain confidence. And 3 months later, it was now Judgment Day. It was the day I was going to go for my road test. I woke up and in my mind, all I could think was that I was cool, calm, and collected. I was going to ace this test. And I was confident like this because 2 weeks earlier, I had aced my written test. We got to the testing center and waited for the longest time for me to be able to now be in front of the instructor. I must share with you all, in Botswana, when you're going for a driving test, you have to use a manual car. So the first part of the test was the parking. I got behind my wheel, was able to do the 3-point turn, park my car, and all the other parking tests that were required. In my mind, I'm cool, calm, collected. Next was The dreaded uphill. I don't know about you. If you've driven a manual car, going up the hill can be quite terrifying, as you might feel that the car may just go backwards. Ever happened to you at one time? Maybe it will be my secret. I was able to go up the hill, and right at the top, I was happy that my car hadn't rolled back. And then all of a sudden, the instructor pressed something in the car, and I could hear something going beep, 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 beep. And he said, switch that sound off. I didn't know what he had pressed. I only later on discovered he had switched on the hazards. That moment, I was cool. My cool was no longer there. I now had to go for the final part of the test, that is on the road. My hands were shaking as I held the steering wheel. My legs were shaking as I tried to change the pedals. At one point, I heard a car with its horn, and it scared me so much that when I reached a T-junction, I even forgot to indicate. The driver instructor just shook his head. And as I headed back to the testing center, I knew I blew it. This wasn't going to be my freedom day. I switched off the engine and sat back as I waited for him to tally up my marks. He handed me my paper, and as I looked at it, at first, I couldn't understand what was going on. You needed to not exceed 10 marks for you to pass the test. And I had reached 9, which means I passed. Albert Camus once said, freedom is nothing but a chance to be better. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, that day I got my freedom to be able to drive myself around. What about you? Is there something that you need to do that will grant you that freedom to be able to move from point A to point B? I hope you won't let fear stop you from moving on. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Leya. It reminded me of getting my lessons and my freedom. I hope everybody over here must be able to reconnect with that way they have got their freedom. Thank you very much for reminding us. And our next speaker is Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. And I request Toastmaster Dan Odero to give us the objective of his project. Toastmaster Dan Odero.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Fellow Toastmasters, we are privileged today to have the privilege of listening to Mrinal Kanti Ghosh, who is pursuing the Visionary Communication Pathway Level 3, Project number 2, which is to deliver a social speech. And this is the second social speech he's giving. It will be 3 to 4 minutes. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice delivering social speeches in front of club members. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, Paramjit.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dan. Mrinal Kanti Ghosh is a market access manager in a pharmaceutical company and an area director, a long member for Leadership Speak. So let me welcome Toastmaster Mrinal with his presentation, Embracing the Essence of Leadership Speak. Embracing the Essence of Leadership Speak, Toastmaster Mrinal.
Greetings, esteemed member of Leadership Speak and guest. Today, I stand before you to stem an amazing journey of Leadership Speak. Leadership Speak, the premier club for experienced Toastmaster to becoming better self-directed leaders. Our motto for our Toastmaster Club is learn, innovate, and connect within our surroundings areas. Last year, we had achieved 5th rank globally among 16,600 clubs. This year, we are aiming for #1 club globally. As currently, our members are from 21 different countries from across the globe. I must congratulate and I urge you everyone, please unmute and clap for our founder member, Brahmanon, Brent, Binod, and also the ex-com member of Leadership Speak to achieve this high peak pinnacle of our Toastmaster journey as in club. But question from mind, why I am here? What is my purpose in the Leadership Speak? Before joining in the Leadership Speak, I am really scared about public speaking. And the same persons on March 22nd will be delivering speech with the audience of 10,000s. If we talk about my purpose within Leadership Speak, to learn and support all the members to interface between amalgamation of technology and communications. As a member of Leadership Speak, we all here together to hone our communication skill as well as a leadership skill in our respective field to becoming a better persons in our own domain. Friends, leadership is not a journey or not a destination. It's all about your self-discovery within you and continuous improvement within you. Let us share my journey in Leadership Speak. We all know, we all believe in heroes. Similarly, heroes are there within our community of Leadership Speak. In my hero from this club is Brahmanon for visionary leaders, amazing technology minded, and always strive for excellence. We all, in our group, lots of amazing leaders are there we need to follow. We need not to wait for other clubs or other environments. It's there within us only. But all leaders, one thing is common. They strive for improvement of others without any benefit from him. They always strive selflessly for the benefit of the groups. That's the benefit of leaders. I urge you everyone, in the member of Leadership Speak, we always try to lead by legacy, lead by example, interface with excellence. And I urge once again to all members, wherever we are in our journey, wherever we go, we should give a positive impact among others. Not only in our clubs, but also in our daily life, we interact with others. Greatness only achieved from learn from each other. And trust me, our aim for this year, the #1 club, this will, as a group, will create. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mrinal. Our fourth speaker for today is Dinesh Sharma, and I will request distinguished Toastmaster Manju to read out the objectives for Toastmaster Dinesh's project. Over to you, Toastmaster Manju.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Paramjit Singh. It's my privilege to read out the objectives for Toastmaster Dinesh, who's going to attempt the project using descriptive language to motivate others. That is his project. So let's have a look at the purpose statement of this particular project. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to motivate team members through the completion of a project. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience motivating team members through the completion of a project. Timer, please note, the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Dinesh has requested for a very candid evaluation. He particularly wants me to focus on the content and how effective he is in delivering the speech. Both the vocal variety as well as the body language aspects, I need to be evaluating these. He has also asked me to check whether, in terms of delivery, right, whether the delivery of the content actually helped in motivating others. These are some things he has asked me to focus on. I now hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the Day, Paramjit Singh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manju. Now join me in welcoming Toastmaster Dinesh. Toastmaster Dinesh, clap for success. Clap for success, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Last week, at the second anniversary celebration of the Leadership Speak Club, Michael, the past international president of Toastmasters, quoted John Maxwell saying, "A leader is who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Everybody remembers that? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest. As someone who's very passionate about...
You are muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Were you able to hear me from the beginning, or you want me to start again?
Maybe you could start again from the beginning, if that would make you comfortable.
Yes. Perfect. My apologies if you didn't.
Could you restart? Could you restart, timer?
Hang a second, Manju. Mr. Zoom Master, where are you? And Mr. TMOD of the Day, what's your opinion on this?
Point where he started, stopped, it should be started from there.
At the second anniversary celebrations of Leadership Speak Club last week, Michael, the past international president of Toastmaster, quoted John Maxwell saying, "A leader is who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest. As someone who is always very passionate about leadership development and have been reading the characteristics of various leaders across the globe for a number of years, I have come up a short name for motivating others as part of leadership development. And that short name is clap for success. We all know we clap when somebody achieves something. We did a lot of clapping last week when Leadership Speak completed 2 years of the anniversary celebrations. So my theory of clap is C stands for critical thinkers. The effective leaders are critical thinkers. Take Brahmavon as an example. Leadership Speak has been there for 2 years, but even now, Brahm has been continuously thinking every week, what next we can do it? What next we can do it? I recently saw he posting it that a session on March the 4th on membership and PR. That's where we are. The effective leaders are critical thinkers. L stands for lifelong learners. Effective leaders are lifelong learners. Age is just a number for them. Tony, our member of this chartered member of this club, mentioned to us a couple of weeks back that at the age of 69, he completed his law degree and is now going to UK, London, to get his degree in April. But more importantly, what inspired us that he said he's now thinking of pursuing masters in law. So effective leaders are lifelong learners. A stands for agile and adaptable. Effective leaders are agile, they are adaptable. If they don't know anything, they don't make excuses. They learn from it too. Ray, for an example, he mentioned last week again that when the role was given to him of PR, he didn't know much about the technology, but he still took on the role. And guess what happens now? At the end of every meeting, within 3 hours, the meeting recordings are posted on YouTube. Great job, Ray. And last but not the least is P. P stands for positive attitude. All of us, the members of this Leadership Speak Club, are positive attitude, have the positive attitude. Why do I say this? It is about 9:45 here in Toronto, and Leadership Speak Club have members from 20 different countries, which means they are all from different time zones, but they're still attending this meeting every week. Today, we have 35 members attending this meeting out of the total 50 or 52 members that we have, which is what? More than about 70% of the members attending the meeting today. You all are positive. You all have positive attitude. You all are effective leaders. So I'm going to summarize my speech here by quoting what Clemens mentioned to me in a couple of weeks back when I gave my speech. And he says, Dinesh, there has to be a takeaway at the end of every speech. And the takeaway is, for all of you are effective leaders. All of you are wonderful people. And I see something in each one of you. So let's clap for everybody, because, hey, let's do this clapping for each one of you for attending this meeting every week. Leadership Speak would not have been here if all of you were not there, if all of you were not making this club a global club, number 5 in 2 years, and now aiming to be number 1 within 2 years of its existence. This is all you. So let's clap one more time. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Everyone clap for success. Everyone clap for success. Thank you very much, Dinesh, Toastmaster Dinesh. Our next speaker is Sabnam, Saiyed, and our evaluator is Toastmaster Elroy. So Toastmaster Elroy, I request you to present us the speech objectives. Toastmaster Elroy.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, Toastmaster evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Toastmaster Sabnam is delivering a L1 P3 on presentation mastery. I will assess the effectiveness of our body language and vocal variety right through the speech. All the best, Sabnam.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Elroy. Toastmaster Sabna has crafted this particular script around the idea of understanding people based on emotional intelligence and NLP, because she felt that she had misunderstood a very important person. And emotional intelligence and NLP opened a Pandora box of information which helped her to understand that person. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Sabnam with her talk, Code, Decode, Toastmaster Sabnam.
Listen, wait, process, react. Good evening, everyone. There is no such thing as weird human beings. It is just that some people need more understanding than others, by Tom Robbins. Oh, look at her. She's got such a nice designer purse. She's so good. He drives a luxury cars. He is so good. He is hugging his family. He's such a good father. Well, Toastmasters, is it not the way we judge people around us? Success, expressing your emotions, being expressive, these parameters have become cognizant with human worth. The more successful you are, the more expressive you are, better human being you are. These are normal parameters in today's society. I myself judged a very important person in my life based on these parameters. The person being my father. It was only after the understanding of NLP and EI was I able to decode the man. But unfortunately, this decoding happened after his demise. I always thought that he doesn't have any emotions. He doesn't hug us. He doesn't spend time with us. He just doesn't want his family. He doesn't love us at all. But after EI and NLP, I came to know that I was absolutely wrong. EI and NLP taught me what human behavior and human tendencies are, what self and relationship management is. And that human behavior is highly, highly influenced by one's social, economic, and emotional baggages, environment. What I came to know was that he grew up in an extremely patriarchal society without a father, where expressing your love, expressing your feelings, being vulnerable was looked down upon. Arey, why are you crying? Be a man. Be a man. You're not supposed to be expressive. Be a man. Behave like one. These were the things that he grew up with and he struggled with. He on an average, a human being speaks about 6,000 words in a day. He could hardly manage 100, 150. If we are going through something, we talk to our friends. Up until now, I have never seen a single friend of his. So much going on and not being able to express. He became claustrophobic, not only in terms of place, but also in terms of emotions. So much going on and not able to express gave him the bundle of being angry always, anger issues, and anxiety issues, which leads to impulsive decision making. Now, that was him. But how was he as a father? The aspect that affected me the most. My mother told me that although I thought that he never loves me, he never hugs me, never cuddles with me. But you know what? He never slept without kissing my forehead ever. He could not talk too much to me, but he always encouraged me to watch English news. Now, imagine asking a teenager to watch English news on a loop. That was to brush my English language and making me aware of current affairs. He always forced me to watch English comedy movies with him because that was the only way he knew he could have some fun. That is not a bad father, but just a father who's struggling so much to express himself. Hence these 4 words: listen, wait, process, and then react. Had somebody made him understand the importance of these 4 words, then his life and the life of his loved ones or his family members would have been very different. He had anger issues, impulsive decision making, and whatnot, anxiety issues. All these problems arise from reacting very quickly, not listening. He heard everything, but he seldom listened to anything. Hence, listen, wait, take some time, process the information, and then react. These 4 words we learned when you were in 1st grade. They are very simple to understand. Now comes a question, why? Why am I sharing this information today with all of you all? I am sure that we meet with so many people around us. You might know of somebody who is going through the same problem. You might have that one friend who doesn't talk enough. You might have that one family member who not expressive, who has very, very impulsive in decision making, has anger issues, has anxiety issues. Go up to them and explain them the power of these very simple 4 words, which is to listen, not hear, but listen. Wait, take some time, process it, and then react. Toastmasters, very unfortunately, I lost the chance of explaining this to my father, but I'm sure you still have that time. If I could, I would just hug my father and explain him these 4 words. I don't have that chance. You still have that chance. So make it a choice to explain these 4 words to your loved ones. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sabnam. Thank you for permitting us to get a new idea of NLP, NLP, and emotional intelligence, that we have to listen, wait, process, and react. We all need to do this to understand people around us. Thank you. Our last speaker for the day is Toastmaster Nokabe Nkosi, and our evaluator is Toastmaster Sandra. So Toastmaster Sandra, please read out this objective for her project. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Nakawa Nkosi, the title of her speech is, "Even in most difficult situations, there are opportunities." She says this is speech 2 from the Persuasive Influence Manual, evaluation and feedback. So this is 5 to 7 minutes, and she is to incorporate the feedback from the first speech. And what she was advised to work on was body movement and vocal variety. That's what she's asking me to watch for today. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sandra. Nokabe said that she wants to share her journey of struggling with the members so that she can be assisted and equipped from the feedback while she heals. The internet is to help others and help their hands, because nobody reached out to help other than her family's support. So join me in welcoming Toastmaster Nokabe with her talk. Even in most difficult situations, there are opportunities. Even in most difficult situations, there are opportunities. Toastmaster Nokabe, over to you.
Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, is there anybody amongst us today who encountered the life stopper, depression? I mean, that mental illness that is invisible, that might be caused by trauma, by rejection, and other things, of course. I mean, that life stopper that makes you to feel despondent, to feel down for apparently no reasons, that one that makes you to be a workaholic at some point. Let me stop there for now. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, there I was, going back to work, the place I loved, the place I cherished, the place I felt it was the most important in my life. After being on six weeks sick leave, I had been diagnosed with depression and I wasn't even aware. I had been sick for some time. There I was, thinking that I had recovered after 6 weeks. I thought, you know, I'm on the right path now. On that very same day, my boss called me during my lunchtime. Nokawe, please come to my office. I went and greeted. And the rest puzzled me. But what I can recall is, Nokawe, I feel like you no longer fit to work for my section because you've been sick, and I cannot stand that. So because you've got a master's degree in environmental management, it means you can work anywhere under environmental services. My response was, thank you so much for such a thought, because it means you have given yourself some time to come to that conclusion. But I'm disappointed because I have been working so hard. Now I have only been away for 6 weeks, but nobody thought to just reach out and check on me. And today I'm back at work thinking I have healed. And now I'm being told I'm no longer fit to work for this section. I cannot dispute that. If that's how you feel, if that's what you've come to a conclusion in terms of managing me as an employee of the department, it's okay. But just don't drop me where I would be redundant. The rest, it's a story for another day. You know, I thought it was over. My career was over. My life was over. I was so disappointed because I had never invited this. And the work situation, which is toxic, which was even toxic by then, was the main cause of my sickness. So then, lucky enough, being the critical leader that I am in terms of thinking, I thought, you know what, let me respond in a way that is not going to hit me in future. Whatever that I do currently, let it not come back to bite me because I'm already in this situation. I thank God for my family that was there to support me. But at work, I didn't have a supporter. Instead, I was given name because of what I was going through. I never knew that depression had a stigma until it happened to me, you know, but I'm so grateful of that journey. Yes, then it was dark. And I decided to read so many books. And I encountered one line by one author that said, if you cannot change your situation, change your eyes. Yes, I may have not known by then as to how to change my eyes, but I decided to look for help outside the circle that I was in. I landed to one workshop. I can't even recall what it was all about, what it was named, but I recall a speaker who was very self-confident, who was very fluent in articulating words. And the members were given an opportunity to ask questions. I remember one asking the speaker as to how did you get to where you are? And she mentioned that Toastmasters is the answer. And I had never heard of such a word. Quickly, I Googled. I thought it was a fruit. Maybe it was a medication. To my surprise, I landed to a page written in bold words, Toastmasters International. And below those big words, there was find a club. I just wrote Mbombela and I clicked search. And I have found that in Mbombela, where I am in Nelspruit, there was a club. There was a number there. I wrote the number quickly. Then I switched back to the meeting. And, you know, I couldn't wait for the meeting to be done. After that meeting, I just called the number. I met this gentleman who spoke so nicely. who had all the time to explain what Toastmasters was all about. That was October 2021. To cut the long story short, he told me that the following day there was a meeting. I went there. I was so surprised when somebody stood to speak. Everybody was applauding, and that was what I needed in my life. I wanted people to show that I'm an important person at long last. And when I was given an opportunity to say as to how was the meeting, I said, you know what, for the first time in my life, I've never seen this. How do you join? Without them of explaining the joining part of it, I just became the member. On that very same day, I completed the forms and I paid the dues. And the rest is a story of another day again. I'm grateful that it opened my eyes. It reintroduced me to myself. I mean, the stopper, depression. Then I became, so mindful. I made the important things important. Hence, I am grateful and ready to help others. Thank you.
Kaveh, you have given us another thing that Toastmaster is the pill for all your ailments also, even for depression also. Thank you very much for giving us a new idea of being a Toastmaster. Wonderful. Toastmaster, it's our timer. Can you share the timer for all the speakers? And in the meantime, Zoom Master, please launch the poll for the best speaker. As you vote for the speaker, let me introduce our next session as a general evaluation and evaluations, and which will be led by past district director, governor D82, chief judge D120, mentor pool chair, district parliamentarian, and currently district finance manager, distinguished Toastmaster Nina Jones. Distinguished Toastmaster Nina Jones, the stage is all yours now. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Paramjit Singh. It's been wonderful having you lead us for this meeting. And we will go now through all our different speakers and evaluation. Evaluation is the lifeblood of champions, and this is what Toastmasters is all about. How do I improve my personal standing? How do I become better? Unless someone points out what I am doing well and what it is that I am not doing well. So we start off first with our educational, let me start off first with our for evaluating the toast. I will call upon our president, Muhammad Ali Asif Saiyed, to evaluate the toast by Elena. Toastmaster Asif. Yes, sir.
Dear fellow Toastmasters, a very good morning and good afternoon, evening, and especially Toastmaster Elena, who raised a toast and informed us that we are living in echo chambers. We are being bombarded with a lot of artificial intelligence. How are we utilizing artificial intelligence for our benefit? But at the same time, we do become victims of artificial intelligence, because then it starts affecting our thinking process, our innovation capabilities, and it's not allowing us to be our own masters. Rather than we are becoming slaves of this artificial intelligence and social media. So it's a very important message she gave us, and I very well resonate with her idea. And she motivated us so that let's use Toastmasters as a platform where we create this innovation capabilities and we become masters of our own selves rather than being victims to social media and artificial intelligence. Now, a very important part of motivating us through raising a toast, which is a kind of a protocol to be followed. We have a kind of a script which helps us to become more effective as a speaker while raising a toast. That's what I would recommend Toastmaster Elena to consider a few aspects. Like, one is that when you want to raise a toast, your glass needs to be visible, or your cup, or whatever the subject which you want to raise, that should be quite visible. You see, so when you have a virtual background, that glass wasn't visible, the cup wasn't visible, and it becomes a distraction. It's such a beautiful message, it gets a little bit of mellowed down because of this. We are on Zoom platform. So if I want to raise this cup, you see how is it visible, right? But when I take a virtual background, it doesn't. More importantly also is that once you invite your members to raise the cup or a glass, if the sentence is quite small, let's say just few words, like 3 or 4 words, then that becomes easier for everybody to remember it and speak it in synchronization. So with that, I believe that yes, you are a wonderful speaker, and definitely you are going to be, you're going to help everybody to be cognizant about artificial intelligence, social media. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asif. That was a brilliant evaluation. You covered 2 main aspects. One is you covered the speech itself, and the 2 main aspects. One, what did it look like on Zoom? Very, very important to explain that a virtual background will dissolve your glass or cup or whatever it is. So let's have either have a real blurred or no background for that. So that is one. Second one, have a short, crisp toast that everyone can follow immediately. So something like 2 critical thinking would have been adequate for that. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asif. We move on now to the evaluation of our Toastmaster of the Day, Paramjit Singh, and this will be delivered by Toastmaster Vinod Panikar, who loves debating. So he's
Ma'am Jusli.
Sorry?
Toastmaster Jusli, he is going to evaluate.
All right, Toastmaster Usli. I'm sorry, I had moved on to the thing. All right. Toastmaster Usli will be evaluating Toastmaster today. Sorry, Usli. You're right ahead.
No problem. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, Toastmaster Paramjit Singh. It's a great pleasure to evaluate you and to participate at the meeting, at this meeting today. Congratulations for this wonderful job. You created the WhatsApp group earlier, I think 2 weeks before today. And you made a way to engage all the members on the WhatsApp group. When I was looking at this WhatsApp group, members have participated in the discussion. Congratulations for that. And the theme of the day was brilliant, well appropriate theme. Congratulations for that. In the introduction of your role, you set the tone by using leadership speak progress to help us understand the meaning of critical thinking, and you give another right definition as well. You use everyday life to make all the members understand the theme, and as well you brought 5 tips to help the members to develop their critical thinking. You had quick transition between your one speaker to the other one, and you had a great Zoom presence as well. You had in the introduction a interactive background, and all of us could easily see the information that you were giving to us. You had great introduction for each speaker, and you call all the evaluators. As you asked me to evaluate you on your language, you had clear language. It was easy to listen to you, easy to understand you. two aspects that I would like you to work on for the next time is first your enthusiasm. You started with big enthusiasm, and in the middle of the meeting, it was kind of low down, and after it was up as well, but it was too up, down, up, down. Next time, you can work on that and keep your smile, keep your enthusiasm during all the meeting. The other thing as well is that in your introduction, you announce thing. You said, I will bring something throughout the meeting, but I didn't hear those things. Don't make announcement for things that you won't do, because I understand that you are very careful about the time, but don't make announcement if you are not sure that you will do those things. Other than that, congratulations, wonderful meeting and great theme. I see that all members, speakers really like the theme and all of them talk about the theme. Congratulations for that. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madam Yusili. I think you followed your own advice, kept your enthusiasm level high throughout your evaluation. So that was brilliant. I mean, that was by example rather than telling everyone what to do. I also like the point about having, saying I'm going to do something and then not quite carrying it out. So my suggestion to Toastmaster of the Day would be to pace out those 5 points across the speakers so that during the transitions, you have 1 minute and you kind of use that also as a transition point. So you're bringing your points out across and you're transitioning with that. So brilliant evaluation and good job of the TMOD. So, and what I liked from TMOD were the examples he used of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and how they're actually using critical skills, thinking skills in their work. So that was great. We move on now to Toastmaster Vinod Panikar, who is going to evaluate our first, well, not first, our one and only LS speaker, that is who's talking about debating, Mohammed Azimuddin, and he's the perfect person to do this evaluation because he's a great evaluator himself and he loves debating. So over to you, Toastmaster Vinod.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Mohammed Azimuddin, debating is the ultimate critical thinking skill. And what a speech you gave. The speech that you gave was informational in type. So you took the audience who were not aware of something from not knowing something to knowing something. So you did a good job of explaining the debate in detail about the structure and about the sequence of how a cross-examination style of debate is conducted. Now, the speaker has requested me to be critical, so I will be from now on. The first thing, the example that you gave in the beginning of about John F. Kennedy, I thought it was a bit exaggerated and may take people, it was a misdirected example in a way because it was clearly something exaggerated. You could have taken something realistic like the world is going to end by 2030 because of climate change. It's something which we all get. Ask for the source, right? So the purpose was thinking critically. So when you see a message, what is the source? Where is it coming from? That is the thought process that we needed to make sure that the debaters or the critical thinkers are using. So I believe when you exaggerate something, so that message was somewhere lost. Second, you told me to focus on the style of presenting. I believe your voice didn't vary much and your gestures also did not vary much. Now, how could you add a variety to your voice and gestures was David Miller's first principle of instructional design says that whenever you are introducing something, tell, show, do, implement. So you told us, but you didn't show us how this can actually happen. For example, you took a topic of should smoking be banned in public. That was a topic. You could have actually done a 1-minute speech on both the end, and that could have really brought it to life. For example, I believe, as an affirmative speaker, that smoking should be banned in public. It concerns the health of public, and I request the House to pass it. It says public social health. On the other side, also, you could have given an example. What about the economy? There are many countries which run on bars. Why ban? Why not just designate a smoking area? Why do you want a complete ban? We have our individual freedom. So that could have added more pressure, like what you say, more voice and gestures from there. There were three things which I believed the sequence. You mentioned that the burden of proof is on the opposition, but I personally believe the burden of proof is on the affirmative to establish the motion of the debate as well as establish the scope of the debate. After that, you mentioned the word argument was used a lot, right? So there may be a chance not everybody knows what an argument is. So you could have classified how an argument is constructed. It is constructed with an assertion, with a reason, with an evidence, and left with an impact statement. So if that was done, people could have more understood. And debate, you mentioned it is about right and wrong. I don't believe, because any topic that is debatable will have partial truth. The purpose of the debater or the critical thinker is to bring out facts to show this is the fact. Now tell me, what do you believe? We have got more facts. Believe in that. Overall, thank you very much to introduce debating to our club. I believe that you should share this with much more clubs and we should have a debate. Thank you very much, and back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod. Your knowledge and passion for debating came through very much in that, just as it did for our education speaker. So we had a lot in terms of what is a debate, how is a debate conducted, but I thought when we had the theme critical skills, I thought you were going to spend a little more time on how does building up argument for and against, if I may use your own terms, analyzing the topic, understanding it, understanding what the opponent has to say, and understanding both sides of the coin. That is what builds up your critical thinking skills. And that is what debating teaches you, and that is what we need as leaders. So I thought a little bit more on that, a little less on the actual mechanics of debates, because the august audience over here, I think, pretty much knows how a debate is conducted. So a little bit more about how it helps with leadership skills is what I would really have enjoyed. So thank you to both the evaluator, Toastmaster Vinod, and our speaker, Mohammed Azimuddin. We move on now to our next evaluator, Toastmaster Marcella, and I look forward to your speech, to your evaluation, Toastmaster Marcella.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. This evening, I had the pleasure of evaluating the distinguished Toastmaster Hannah Schmidt, who delivered an inferred speech on half full and half empty. Toastmaster Hannah, when I listened to you this morning, I loved the way you had everyone engaged. Everyone was engaged in this topic because we all do things, we all do, we sign up for Toastmasters, we present speeches, we achieve our goals, but yet we're never sure whether our glass is half full or half empty. We keep, going on and on and on. And you had us practicing that critical thinking while presenting your speech. I was even thinking of, well, the sky is the limit. We could always keep going on and on. You spoke of Toastmasters who joined and who left. We never know why they leave. And a few Toastmasters come back, which is very good, when they realize that they really need this and they need their glass to be half full. Nevertheless, this evening, I found your speech was very engaging. While you stood to present, you looked very beautiful in your really nice attire. I love everything about that. I thought that you look very, positive while presenting your speech. And of course, we will always want our glass to be half full or even double, like you mentioned in your speech. I particularly love that you stood up to present your speech. You looked right into the camera with your you had profound confidence. Your delivery was captivating, and you were very fluent in presenting your speech. Although I believe that you could have shown a visual of a glass, to explain and to show exactly what you mean by half full or half empty. Although your explanations were were presented very well. Toastmaster Hannah, I thoroughly enjoyed your speech, and we anxiously look forward to hearing you again for another presentation. Congratulations. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Marcella. I really love that point about how having a glass as a prop does so much more, has so much more impact on the audience when you show whether it is half full or whatever. And as a conclusion, you drink off that water and say, and that's how I'm ready for the next glass full of things or whatever. So that was great. Hannah, I also felt there was a little bit of a disconnect between what you said about membership and your club and all of those things and what you were kind of talking about yourself. So I think for the audience, I think it should have been made a little more clear about why you had the connection and how you feel that this would have helped. So apart from that, yes, Hannah had a great Zoom presence and all of those things, and Marcella has done a great job of the evaluation. We move on now to our next speaker, Leya, and our esteemed evaluator, Ray, who's going to cast a ray of enlightenment on the speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Ray.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nina. Leya, thank you so very much for that speech. I loved how you set up the opening on why you wanted the freedom of being your own driver. You explained the how and the why you wanted that freedom of that driving independence. And I loved how you set the story up chronologically. And then what happened next? What's going to happen next? And then what's going to happen next? And if it was possible, when we have speeches with such a resonant conclusion, we as the audience know that there's a resolution to that. And yet you left us hanging a little bit because we wanted to know more about the story. I haven't heard too many speeches where you had a conclusion that had a definite end, and then we wanted to hear more. That's such a very difficult thing to do, but you did it. And there are just a few tweaks that I think that you can do to work upon. First, I noticed in your background that that you did have a virtual background, and I noticed once in a while part of the body parts disappeared. As a speaker, you want to have your audience focus on you and on your story, and you don't want anything to distract them. Like, I'm listening to your story. Oh, what happened to her hand? You don't want that. Second is that I would have loved to hear a little bit more about the point A to point B a few more times in the speech, and kind of as a reminder where you want to take the audience. So I thought this is really kind of a minor point. And if you want to use this as a contest speech, this is a very good contest speech because it's universal. It's a universal thing. We all had to learn how to drive. So if the timing was 7:42, maybe take a few extra seconds off, probably 12 seconds. And finally, to challenge yourself, You mentioned about driving manually, learning how to drive manually. In the United States, most of drivers drive with an automatic. So for those, unless they experience that, driving on manual is a foreign concept. Can you imagine some more emotions on your face when you were trying to go through your test? Such as trying to learn how to drive uphill and having to shift? Can you imagine and share with the audience your panic if you shifted wrong and you went like that? That would be an example of how you could use some expressions of emotions to express how you're feeling. Overall, great speech. I loved it, and I can't wait to hear your next one. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ray. As usual, a masterly evaluation sprinkled with compassion and encouragement. Thank you so much for that. Toastmaster Leya, a couple of points that I would like to add in addition to Ray's things is one is the fact that you wanted to create word pictures. And I think the first thing you should have done was tell us how old you were when you were standing on that dark, lonely road outside the school. I mean, was it a school? Was it a college? What was it? We figured out only later. So from the beginning, you know, there I was in college and the only girl in my class who had to be picked up by her brother, something like that. So now we know what you were doing. And at the end of it, it says freedom. What was that freedom for? Did you use it to take all your friends to the ice cream parlor? Were you able to go, somewhere else and sneak away from the house? What was that freedom for? I would have liked a little bit more on that. But otherwise, the humor was great. And I think Ray has already pointed out a lot of the things that are there. We move on now to our next speaker, Toastmaster Mrinal, and our next evaluator, Dan, who is a master of critical thinking himself. So over to you, Toastmaster Dan, for your evaluation.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, and thank you, Mrinal, for that great speech and honoring and organization is what I think you're talking about, the social speech. You excelled, and I believe, yes, you excelled at passing on the warmness of the occasion by smiling well, sharing a broad smile and greeting the members and guests with a great enthusiasm. Enthusiasm brings the warmness there. You brought out good points, emphasizing that in a top club like Leadership Speak, we learn from each other, and that learning is not a journey or a destination, but an opportunity for growth. Great points put out there. Making it personal, you also made it personal by mentioning the names of the people you're proud of. You mentioned Bram and what he's done for you. That's very good. That brought out very well with that. One thing I'd probably to work on, your Zoom presence, you were seeing only the top of your torso. We'd like to see more so that gestures can come up. We can feel more with the gestures as you bring the gestures out. But very good with that. And you stood, but showed only your top torso. So maybe you move back a bit so you can see more of you, and you can bring out that we have a more connection with you. But you also brought out one good thing is also about the background as you're celebrating. The background of the celebration of 2 years, very apt. That was truly apt. And then finally, just as you're closing, instead of just saying thank you, probably a nice summation of the things you're proud of, things that we can remember, and things we take home. You had about 4 minutes to present this social speech. You took about 4 minutes 57, so you're a little bit over. You went a bit over, so you could 4 and 30 seconds. You went about 47. So reduces a bit, and then just point out, keep the warmness. The warmness is great. Mentioning the name there and mention that and the points that you're proud of. See more of yourself, and see more of yourself, and then in summation, give us in closing, the things that we can remember, this is the things remember that we are proud of and why we are honoring the club. All in all, a great toast and a great social speech that was. It made me proud to be part of Leadership Speak. Thank you for sharing that with us. And back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dan. And I totally agree with you with that little slip of the tongue which says, thank you for a great toast. Actually, I thought this would have been made a wonderful toast for Leadership Speak. You know, even if it was past the anniversary, first year, first meeting after the anniversary, something like that. So that would have been a great way to talk. It was a great social speech. And yes, you really honored the founders of the club, gave us details about how we are striving to move forward and how all the leaders are striving to encourage each other. So it's not a question of one person or whatever, but how all of us together have brought this into its current status. With that, I will move on to our next speaker, who is Dinesh Sharma, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Manju, who, by the way, has received the accolade, the ignominium of becoming one of the world's impactful coaches. So over to you, Toastmaster Manju.
Thank you so much. It's my privilege to evaluate Toastmaster Dinesh Sharma, that too when he delivered Motivate Others project. Today, he actually had a great content, C for content, and L. He had a great message, I'm sure, which we all loved. So I would say loved the message. And what was the message? C for critical thinking, L for lifelong learning, A for agile and adaptable, and P for positive attitude. Next comes the third A. A for audience and how it connected with the audience. I really liked how he understood that we are all leaders and we all clamor for success, or at least we are always trying to pursue success. So he had a short form for all of us. So content and loud the message, and of course, A for audience. Now, in my evaluation, I have an extra A and a P. Let's go on to the recommendations part. The first one is actions, hand gestures, and smiles. So I would like to, with your permission, share the screen so that you can see what I'm trying to depict, so that you can also have that inference very clearly. If you look at his screen, are you able to see the screen? Yes. Now, if you see, part of his hands are getting cut off in the screen. At least for me, it was. Now, when he tried to clap, it was too fast. So one thing while doing any kind of hand gestures on Zoom that I have learned by making several mistakes was that we need to clap slow. If you do it this way, then the hand gestures would be crystal clear for the audience. Again, along with the action, if he had that smile when he said, a leader is the one who goes the way, and with the smile, if he had delivered, just imagine the impact that he would have had on our hearts and our brains. The next suggestion is about P. P for placement of camera. If you have a look at what I'm showing, you would see that there is some kind of light coming on his face. Probably there is a source of light which is opposite to him. It is falling on some part of his cheek. Also, the camera angle makes it look like he's looking down upon us. Today, I have placed several books so that I'm speaking looking into the camera, not looking down at the camera. So that is placement of camera. To summarize, great content, loud the message, A, loud the way he connected with the audience, especially we being leaders, trying for success, and of course, actions, hand gestures and smiles, placement of camera. I'm sure with this CLAAP,
he would be all set for success. Thank you, and over to the General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Nina.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manju. That was a very, very clear example of how Zoom meetings should be done, and brilliant way of discussing gestures and actually demonstrating how you should have a slow clap. So let me give you a small clap for that. Now, I like the way you covered all of those things. The only thing is, in terms of your evaluation, I thought there was no need to really repeat what Toastmaster Dinesh had said. You could have gone straight into your acronym and gone straight into CLAAP and given us a clearer idea of what CLAAP is and asked us to move on for that. Toastmaster Dinesh, one thing I liked is you're incorporating something of what Elena had said, and I think the same thing happened with our education speaker, Muhammad Azimuddin, where he also incorporated parts of Elena's toast. So that shows your flexibility as a speaker, and that you're not just parroting whatever script you have, and you're willing to be to inculcate that tweak your speech a little bit. So that was great. To some extent, I felt like Toastmaster Dinesh was reading, so that again would have been a question of the placement and things like that. And I thought telling us a quote that Michael Tontaro gave from Maxwell was not really necessary. You could have gone straight away into Maxwell's quote and given that to us. So that is fine. And I definitely loved his acronym. But the ending, I thought, was a little weak, in the sense, first you said something about have a positive attitude, then you said something about I see something, just have a good punchline and finish it. So that's all that's required. I think that could have been done really, really well. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Leya, Manju, for that. We move on now to our next evaluator. That is Toastmaster Elroy. Toastmaster Elroy, over to you for Shabnam's speech. Yeah.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests, and Toastmaster Shabnam in particular. Toastmaster Shabnam, this is the second time I'm listening to your speech, and this time I really got it. The emotional connect with your audience was fabulous. How many of us in our 40s plus can relate to that speech? All of us have parents who have, most of us have our parents who have gone away, and we could really connect with the unfinished business when memories flood us with their beautiful lives. And Toastmaster Shabnam, you just hit the nail on the head by reiterating the beautiful tribute that you paid to your father via your speech. It was really beautiful, engaging, with full of emotion. I like the way you incorporated elements of emotional intelligence and NLP into your speech and related it to your father. That was really done brilliantly. Now, where I felt the speech could be enhanced was when it came to the body language and the vocal variety, which you asked me to assess. Perhaps you would have had so many incidents in your father's life that flood your memory, and you could bring out one incident where you are having a dialogue with your father and show the missing gaps in the vocal variety and the body language. Then emphasize the message on listen, wait, process, and react. So if that was done, it would have enhanced your speech. And towards the end, the conclusion was a little abrupt. I felt if you dwelt a little more on your conclusion, the message would have been a lot more impactful. But overall, it was a beautiful speech, very lively emotions and sentiments brought out. You brought the new concepts of emotional intelligence and LNP, which was done very well. and you had a nice soothing voice right through, so you managed the transitions well. Possibly you could have concluded with a small little NLP exercise, okay? So you are sitting with your father on an empty chair. Imagine your father sitting on that empty chair and you are having a conversation with him now. Father, you are gone, but now I want to make peace with you and speak to your father in that sense. Perhaps that would have concluded and brought to end the unfinished business. Over to you, Toastmaster Sabnam, and I'm sure you will go to greater heights in the future. All the best.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Elroy. That was a lovely evaluation of a beautiful speech by Toastmaster Sabnam, where, as you said, she really touched all our hearts with her story about her father, that, as teenagers and youngsters, we always rebel and have all these kind of negative thoughts about the authority figures in our family. And it's only now that you understand what is the reasoning behind that. So that was very well done by Sabnam, and I think what Elroy did in terms of evaluation, I thought that was a great thing in terms of a concluding exercise that he suggested. That is a suggestion I think that you can or incorporate for the next time. So the fact that Elroy is also an NLP trained person helped him connect very well with her speech. So thank you for that, Toastmaster Elroy. We move on now to our sixth speaker, that is Nakosi, who will be evaluated by the Queen of Straight Talk, Toastmaster Sandra.
Thank you so much. Nakawe, this is a great pleasure to be able to evaluate you, give you my opinion of what I heard today. You talked about life stopper. You know what? That's what I would have liked for a title. The title was, even in the most difficult situations, there are opportunities. You're telling us something, but you're not grabbing me right there. But when you opened your mouth and started your speech, it was life stopper, depression. Life stopper, depression. That grabs me. I've been to clinical depression and back. It's in hell. I know it is. And so do many people here. If they admit to that down times. So you have a really hot topic that needs to be looked at. Now, just looking at the way you were standing, your shoulders were actually comfortable. You didn't move around much. You were looking for body language here. You didn't move around much, but I could feel the comfort in how you were grounded, which is lovely. Your hands, for the most part, pretty much to the yellow, was rather repetitive. And I'm going to invite you to look at your replay and you'll see how they were repetitive rather than meaningful. There was one area, I believe it was when you got to the Toastmaster bit, that really changed. And there was something about come on in. You see, you could have had come on in, could have been taken with pause and meaningful movement. That's the challenge. The other little area in terms of Zoom setup, we were kind of looking up your nostrils a bit, and that's just the camera. So take Manju's idea and put some books under there, raise it up so that your chin is down and you're looking into the camera so we can have that eye contact. It's beautiful. You have a story that needs to be told. The change in your eyes, I didn't know what that was. And I recognized, okay, there's a word that I'm not understanding because your language is very clear, but change in your eyes. Then I understood change your ask. Change your ask. So there's once in a while a word that needs to be just given a little more time. And even changing your ask would be a speech of its own. You've got really great topics coming up. Once in a while you got into da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da and singing your speech where you sped up. And when you saw the lights come on, you really got going. So just take some time, enjoy yourself. And really, I'm looking forward to so much more from you. I liked the closing. Take your time and enjoy. Mindful. You reminded us to be mindful about the things that are important. Thank you so much, Nakawa. Back to you, GE.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster Sandra. That was as insightful as always and as detailed in terms of suggestions using the books and all of those things. And I agree with you that this is an excellent topic. And I think when we're talking about the benefits of Toastmasters, I think this is one of the things that I've been saying for quite some time that we should tout as one of the benefits of Toastmasters. It's not just public speaking or leadership, it's also mental wellness, because you're connected to people and you have someone checking up, why aren't you there for the meeting? Why have you not this and done this? Why are you not doing your projects or whatever? So there's a sense of connection. I think that helps a lot of people who are depressed, because they're also very isolated and they think nobody loves me or any of those things. So great. And I congratulate Nkosi for being so vulnerable and telling us all about her particular situation and how we can all learn from that, and we can also battle it and do whatever we can. So that was a great lesson from her speech, and I really loved your evaluation. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandra. Now for my general evaluation, I will just move on to can I have the, timer report is already there. So may I request Toastmaster Paula to give her grammarian report, please?
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. I've got quite a bit of interesting information here. First of all, the word of the day, inference, was used that I picked up on 4 times. So I think that might infer that the word was challenging. So we'll just leave it at that one. Toastmaster Brahm used the word ahead of the meeting, which was, I would suggest, is a great way to rehearse using the word within the meeting. We also, and I think I heard Toastmaster Mrinal use the word inference in his speech, but the actual clear winner would be Toastmaster Marcella, who actually integrated the word of the day into 2 of her speaking opportunities. Now, to me, using and integrating that word of the day is a true art. So you are a fine example today, Toastmaster Marcella. When I move on to the improper use of grammar or challenging aspects, which is what I would like to call next level challenging here, would be to, because I am an editor and I focus on speech composition a lot. So I would offer this as a reminder to focus on utilizing the proper elements of grammar when we are speaking. And it can get really easy to not have those because we're speaking, especially if we're speaking impromptu. So proper prepositions and proper tenses would be the things that I would use. And I'm going to use one example, which is not the only example, so please forgive me for that. But Toastmaster Leya, when you said focus with what's in front of me, instead it would have been more fluid to be able to say focus on what's in front of me. So that was an example of that. Now, as far as quotes, thoughts, and words, I have a whole page of those. So I'm just going to run through them very quickly. Leaders of our destiny, Toastmaster Elena, awesome. I would say that Toastmaster Leya, giving us the quote from Camus, the freedom is nothing but a chance to be better, awesome. But the wow factor for me today goes to Toastmaster Nina, who said, evaluation is the lifeblood of champions. I love that, and that is an amazing takeaway for today. Back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paula, and I will lap up any compliments that you have. Thank you. Right, so we are moving on to my part of the proceedings. I think we went very well with all the speeches. Everything went off very smoothly as usual. I like that. In terms of timing, I always feel that 6 speakers becomes a little much for people, because you can see people dropping off and they have to leave and all of those things. So I think that is one thing we need to consider. Also, Paula, and this is not a criticism of you, but I would like to say that as a general principle, when we are pointing out either mistakes or errors, at least that's the way we do it in our club, is do not mention the name of the person. So you say there was an error. I think this phrase could have been like this, but good usage. Yes, Nina John's quote was great. So the principle of, praise people and criticize in private, so that nobody, at the end of 6 speeches, nobody knows who actually used which phrase. So you're not singling people out. So I think that is one of the things that we need to work on. And overall, I think we have a lot of things happening. Let me hand it back to our energetic Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Paramjit Singh.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dina John. Thank you for having a wonderful evaluation session. And I offer my deepest gratitude to all the role players who had been behind the scene, particularly Kareen, who has been pushing everyone and contacting everyone, and all the people who are really encouraging me in the club, in the WhatsApp group also. That was really a great support from everyone. And I'd like to conclude with the say that as Toastmasters, honing our critical thinking skill is essential, not only for our personal and professional growth, but also for our role as a responsible citizens and leaders in our communities. So before I conclude, I would like to invite the Thought of the Day speaker, Claudette Thomas. Claudette Thomas, Thought of the Day.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow critical thinkers. Are we all critical thinkers? We use critical thinking skills daily without even realizing it. For example, we ask ourselves at times, what cereal to eat for breakfast? Where to buy our coffee today? Or what alternate route we should take because of the traffic, especially in Toronto. Other decisions may have a more significant impact on our lives. Nonetheless, critical thinking is a key skill for life. My esteemed colleagues have already presented excellent information on the topic. However, I will briefly examine why critical thinking is important, why it matters, and how to develop it. Critical thinking is helpful in our personal and professional lives to help us to make the best decisions. It matters because we must ask the right questions, listen attentively, and develop reasoning to strengthen our problem-solving skills. In other words, making an inference, Paula. Albert Einstein said, the important thing is to never stop questioning. Therefore, we must ask the right questions to assess the information we receive and to take the appropriate action. To develop critical thinking, we must be able to practice self-reflection and self-evaluation. Leadership Speak supports and fosters critical thinking. In closing, I encourage you to be a critical thinker, elevate your leadership skills, and become a better self-directed leader. Because critical thinking is a key skill for life. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Claudette. Oh, let us embrace the challenge of thinking critically, both in our speeches and in our daily lives. Thank you very much. I'd like to hand over to DTM Brahmamon because our president is not available here today because of emergency. So I'd like him to take over the session now. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Brahm.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. Critical thinking is very important. We actually emphasize that at Leadership Speak. It's one of the critical skills for a leader. And so critical thinking in putting together your speech critical thinking in how you do an evaluation is very, very important, because we are in advanced school, and in an advanced school, it's very important to know exactly what you're thinking. It's much more than just making a decision. It's about thinking critically about the decision and which decision you should be taking. So remember, if you want to be a member of Leadership Speak, you'll be asked to think critically, to put your speeches in a manner that is critical, and so that it conveys a better messaging across to your audience when you're speaking, as well as when you're evaluating. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting has gone way over time, because some people are very generous in their speaking during the assigned times that they had, so we are over time. But that's okay. We had a great meeting, and I have actually spoken to most of the guests when they first came in the room privately in the chat. So when they left, or they came here only for a few minutes, they were all spoken to and they were all signed up. So we are all good. And because of that, we can now adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for being here. This meeting is adjourned, but there are some still guests still here, even though I've spoken to them, or they have put their names in the guest book. I can chat with them now if they are still available. Thank you all. This meeting is now adjourned.